classic Tom Petty. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, in America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. It's a long day living in Rosita.
So, this is Matt Santos of the Mile High Show, episode 181B or 182. I don't know how I'm going to name it. I recorded a very lengthy show this week, and it was featuring 4 musical acts that are taking part in Music United show. The Music United presents a concert against teen bullying and suicide, a mini music festival on August 4th, beginning at 11:30 a.m., running to about 10 p.m. You can find out information on that show on Facebook at Music United. So please search that. It is put on by David Cottle, a friend of mine from the Prescott area, a musician and photographer from Prescott. He's been here many, many years and is fully entrenched in the music and photo world up here. He has put on this show August 4th again, Concert Against Teen Bullying and Suicide. It will take place at the Boys and Girls Club of Central Arizona at 335 East Aubrey Street in Prescott. Now, I recorded a couple of days ago at Metro Recording. Follow them on Facebook at Metro Recording on Facebook. So what Dave and I did, we took a trip down the highway to Metro Recording to meet with Elizabeth Tighe, the Insomniacs band, Iron Kill, and Ciara Cisneros. Excuse me, Ciara, for butchering your name. And what I did, we went a little long with each. We didn't really have a format set up. I was going to play it by ear. And I spent about a half hour or so with each group. So rather than have one very long podcast, I broke it up into 2. Both promoting the same thing, 2 things actually, young artists, young musicians in the area, as well as the program that they are taking part in, that being the August 4th Concert Against Teen Bullying and Suicide, hosted by Music Unlimited and David Cottle. A good cause promoting some good music. So that's what I did. The first half that is just before this in the list, episode 181, is Elizabeth Tighe and Insomniacs. Great musicians all the way around and some good conversation. This portion, this half, will be Iron Kill and Ciara Cisneros. Ciara Cisneros, a singer-songwriter, solo act. Iron Kill is Stephen and Michael, 2 brothers who make up half of Iron Kill. Iron Kill being a heavy metal band based out of the Phoenix area. So sit back, enjoy the conversation, enjoy that intro music you heard, as well as the outro are both Ciara Cisneros. Up, I believe, is the one that did I don't know. It's either Up as the beginning, as the intro, or outro, and then her cover of Free Falling by Tom Petty on either the intro. I don't know how I'm going to put this together yet. I didn't even know I was splitting this show up until just now. So check out the event, August 4th, Concert Against Teen Bullying and Suicide, as well as the Music United Facebook page for a way you can take part in bringing awareness to this tragic situation that many young ones face, and old ones, that of despair and suicide and, of course, teen bullying. musicunited.brownpapertickets.com is how you can get tickets to the show. It's going to be an all-day thing. Let's see, what else is on there? And, again, thank you to the good folks at Metro Recording for letting us take up space there. And if you are in need of any recording space or services, check them out. Metro Recording on Facebook, and where else? Instagram. Metro Recording on Instagram. So check the good folks out there. Enjoy the show. Like I said, this is part 2. We recorded down there a couple of days ago. Wanted to break it up a little bit. This is Iron Kill and Ciara Cisneros. Enjoy the show.
Free falling.
We're Iron Kill, and my name is Steven. I'm Michael.
Michael digging through his wallet. Pretty casual on here, so whatever.
I'll look for the Iron Kill card.
Now, Iron Kill, where's that come from? How'd you come up with the name?
I think you came. I think Michael came up with the name. I think he was thinking of like Iron Maiden and Overkill, and then he was like Iron Kill.
Well, that's the story I made up. I don't know.
But, just like the way it sounds?
Yeah, that sounded pretty cool.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
We're from like the west side of Phoenix, so like near
Phoenix,
Buckeye.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
How's the metal scene down here?
It's pretty cool. It's loyal.
Yeah.
It's loyal, and I think, there's times when it's like packed, and I think there's definitely your core bands and stuff that people come out and see. So there's definitely a scene here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty, alive, it's a pretty big scene.
The metal scene up in the Prescott area is there's not one as far as shows, but as far as fan base there is. They're thirsty for metal. So we're hoping we're going to get some folks coming up. Dave, how long have you been up there in the Prescott area?
I moved there when I was 7, but I've been back for about 20 years now.
Oh, so you've seen the ebb and flow, because Scotty's used to have a fairly big metal scene.
Yeah.
They used to run quite a few regular shows at Jackass in Prescott Valley.
Tony's too.
Tony's too did as well. The last couple of years, nothing, and there is a strong fan base that is just dying for metal shows up there. And I think we're going to see some of those coming through some more, because the fans have been heard. A good buddy of ours, you don't know, but Dave and I both know. He's been on the podcast quite a bit. He has his own podcast. Let's give him a plug. Real Film Nerds, Matt Hinshaw.
Yeah, love me.
Big metal fan. And
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
I just know he's a photojournalist and photographs sports. So.
Yeah, but he big metalhead, and grew up in Sierra Vista, which same thing, didn't have a huge scene, but had their core guys who lived and died metal, and then went to college here in Tempe at the I always get a mix. Which one's in
ASU?
ASU. I always get ASU and U of A. I get them flip flop because which one's in Tucson?
Oh, you can get in trouble for that.
I'm not from here. What do I know? But he grew up and went to school with guys that just I don't even know what he's talking about. He tells me the bands that he's going to see. He comes down here for shows quite a bit, and he'll mention names of bands. I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. How can you not know who they are? They're huge. I don't know.
We both have a mutual friend named Sky Daddy, and he plays like in all these bands, Rockabilly and Johnny Cash Tribute and stuff. Hey, Sky. And I took him to the Prescott Valley Music Fest, and he stayed for Co-op.
Yeah.
And he loved them.
Yeah.
You guys are heavier than Co-op.
Yeah.
And Co-op's heavy for Sky and heavy for Prescott.
As a young adult and older teenager, I used to shop at a Co-op. That's all I know of what it was a hippie store. It was Trader Joe's before Trader Joe's existed.
Yeah, Co-ops say
hemp shopping bags back when nobody knew what they were.
Wow.
Back in the olden days. I'm old, by the way. Who were your influences coming up?
Let's see. Everything. I think because even like bad music like influences me not to do that.
Yeah.
But I think
you learn from it.
Yeah, and we like all types of music. there's no bad type of music inherently. There's just each individual artist, each by each. But I mean, I don't know. As far as metal, and obviously your old school guys like Pantera and Metallica and all those guys, and I like Avatar. Avatar's a newer band. That's like my favorite band now. And
you got throwing Lamb of God in there because they're pretty big on this. But
and you're wearing the shirt.
Then but like when it comes to like our songwriting and stuff, like I'm really influenced by like funk music, like Earth, Wind and Fire and stuff. So like I throw in some like funk chops and jazz chops because I do jazz band in school. So I throw like in some jazz stuff in there.
All right, how old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 17.
Okay, young. How did you get hair that long at 17 and 19?
And those beards. They're totally full.
I don't honestly know. I've had the beard growing since like 7th grade. And I remember like teachers would be like my first day of freshman year, like it was only the freshmen, and security guard told me I didn't have to go that day, and I was like, I'm a freshman though. He's like, oh, I thought you were like a junior or a senior.
I mean, he was removed from the middle school campus because he had a beard. They were wondering why he was there, and they asked him to go up to the office.
Creepy old guy. That happens to Dave now.
There's
no video, so my hand motions and my face and signals to Matt.
They thought you were like some older brother or parent hanging out.
Yeah, it was like one time I was just like waiting for my mom to pick me up, and then when my mom finally picked me up, like the aide went to the car and said, I was about to tell him like, you need to leave or I'm going to call the cops, because I guess they thought I was like a guy looking for little children, I guess.
Because not only do we
have bag of candy in your backpack didn't help any.
Yeah, because we got beards and shirts, like not just the beards alone, but shirts with like dead bodies on them. I mean, we're not the most not sketchy looking guys in the world.
However, last time I saw you guys out at Club Red, you were wearing a Waylon Jennings shirt.
Oh, I also got a Lionel Richie shirt too.
Now you talk about, and I'm sorry, Michael and Steven, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are also siblings.
Either one.
And your brothers, your brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Musical family all around, or just you guys, or you got any sisters? Any other brothers?
Our older brother, his name's Jason. He's also like our drum tech.
Nice.
He's got us to metal. Like we were born listening to it before we were even born. Like he would just crank it all the time.
Now, how much older is he than you guys?
He's like 32, 33, 34.
He's older.
Unlike us, he looks good.
That's a good stretch there.
Yeah.
So there's always that guy. Mm-hmm. In your case, your brother. In a lot of cases, it's a cousin or the guy at the record store. Somebody who turns you on to different things. My older. I'm the youngest of 5.
Right.
And unfortunate. Well, I shouldn't say that. When I was in high school, it was unfortunate, and until I grew to appreciate it, it was unfortunate. But like I was joking around with Dave earlier when he said about siblings playing together, the Partridge Family. My oldest sister, 7 years older than me, was like the biggest Donny Osmond, Keith Partridge, David Cassidy fan. So I grew up hearing the Partridge Family blasting on from the LPs on our hi-fi set, and then my brother. His favorite music growing up was the Bee Gees.
Oh, we love the Bee Gees.
Well, see, that's the thing. As a 15-year-old kid, it's like, this stuff's garbage. It's yeah. And now I'm like, hey, that's pretty good.
That sounds great.
And we got to do a plug for the Jackson 5.
Jackson 5, which...
Well, I'll listen to Michael Jackson all day.
See, it was... but you go through these certain phases where that's garbage, and then when you get a little older and start looking, okay, now I can appreciate it. So, but there's always that... There's an older influence that will turn you on to the stuff that you normally wouldn't have heard, or maybe your age group isn't listening to. So when you were, say, 6th, 7th grade... What were you being turned on to by your older brother?
About 6th or 7th grade, it was still like that's like when I started getting like more into death metal type stuff, like Cannibal Corpse and stuff. But it was like still like Slayer.
I'll have to Google it. I don't.
And
wait, what was it called?
Cannibal Corpse.
See, you got to be careful when you Google that, because you'd probably have to add plus music at the end, or you may be exposed to a website you don't necessarily want it.
Yeah, but like I was also huge like in Metallica when I was in middle school, and then
what?
like
Okay,
Pantera.
what year was this?
Probably like 2013-ish.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to say 99, 97, 98, 99.
He's 17.
My first and only Metallica concert. I was, oddly enough, where we're sitting out here. What's it called?
Metro Recording.
Metro Recording is a limo company right here.
Yep.
Long story, won't get into it, but I ended up being part owner of a limo company. We had a couple of cars.
Yeah.
And I drove a group of people to the Cow Palace in San Francisco. And I dropped them off up front and then parked in the limo section and then realized I had to use the bathroom. And so I walked up to the gate. I'm in a suit. And the guy goes, "Oh, you drive one of the limos?" I said, "Yeah, can I go and use it?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead. Hang out. I don't care." And it was a Metallica show. And I got to hang out watching them play for a little bit. It was a fun time. Wasn't my genre of music, but I could appreciate that they were incredible.
You didn't photograph them?
No, I was driving a limo.
I photographed them.
Back in film days.
Yeah.
Well, you're old. I'm not. So you're listening to Metallica and Cannibal Corpse. What was it?
Cannibal Corpse, and basically my whole life I was listening to the same stuff, but it wasn't until about my freshman year or 8th grade when I started I listened to Earth, Wind & Fire for the first time, and I was like, that's actually not that bad. So I sort of listened to it more, and then I started noticing that my drum playing was getting better, my chops are getting better and everything, and I was like, maybe if I should start opening up more, and I realized that opening up was the best thing I could do because my ability has increased because I can play more than just metal now.
And letting different genres, different styles influence to what you're going to play, your style, your genre, but with all these other things feeding in. I think Chili Peppers and stuff really opened up ears and eyes to a different generation of the old 60s and 70s funk.
Mm-hmm. And they definitely do funk.
Yeah. But they kind of brought some of those artists to a newer generation. And when that cycle keeps going and seeing those influences, it's really neat to see. Now, you guys are coming in at an age when buying music and coming home and reading the liner notes isn't something they do anymore.
Most people do. I get records.
Yeah.
I buy records if they look cool. I don't want to know what it sounds like prior to getting it. I have to go and get vinyl records and all that, and it's cheaper. It's $1 for a whole record. And most of the time it sucks, but it's cool. So, and you get
the visual art of it. Yeah. I would see. One of the things I like because I interview musicians pretty frequently, and one of the things I like asking them is, "What was the first piece of music you bought?" But that doesn't apply here?
I got you. I went to Walmart, and I had money, right? And it was the first time because AC/DC was my group. I used to dress up like Angus Young, the guitar player, and dance around. I got Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap, and AC/DC has some innuendos on those records.
Oh yeah,
and it instantly made me cooler at school because I learned all the cool things, that was my first record.
Yeah,
I bought my money.
I actually bought two for my first time.
Yeah,
I bought two Lamb of God CDs, Sacrament and Laid to Rest,
edited.
Yeah, but
they're edited, censored.
What was yours, Dave? What was your first piece of music you bought on your own?
I am not sure, but it was probably a Stones album.
First one I ever got was an 8-track of Goat's Head Soup. First thing I ever bought on my own.
There you go.
Because I didn't know anything about the band.
Underappreciated record.
I enjoy at the time at 8 years old, Angie. I don't know why I heard it on the radio and I really liked that song, Angie.
I think that has Dan's little sister on it, doesn't it? I can't remember.
I don't have an 8-track anymore. So I don't know. What was the first live music you guys saw?
Actually, my first one, I think. Well, I think I saw Toby Keith with my mom and Big and Rich at the state fairs every year. But my first metal one, I think, was Korn.
How old were you?
When I saw Korn, I was probably in 6th grade, so I was probably
wow,
11, 12.
Nice.
Yeah, see, my first show was my guitar instructor's band, who's also Steven's drum instructor's old band, Crash Street Kids, and they played CD thing at Zia Records, and that was my first show. And that was cool because I was 9 years old, and I saw my guitar instructor be a rock star,
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool that,
Neat.
intimate first show. But yeah, that was my first one.
Now, were you guys playing music in school? You like school band and stuff?
I did jazz band. He took it more serious than I did. I was just there so I can play guitar. Most of the time, I'll play with the volume off and pretend like I know what I was doing. but jazz band's pretty cool, though, right? Because it helps you learn like a lot of the music theory and the
fundamentals.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I was just there just to play guitar in class.
Just to have access to the instrument.
Steven took it serious.
Yeah.
Real serious.
And it's fun to like play with other musicians like that are like different than playing with just like electric guitar, bass, and death metal vocals. It's like it's weird to play with like trumpets and all that, saxophones. It's pretty fun.
So it's just the duo in your band?
No.
Who do you
There's
got?
4 of us.
Tell us who
Let's see.
else is associated.
We got the glorious Riley Micus.
He plays lead guitar.
Yeah.
And the lead poofy hair.
Yeah.
And then
He's definitely got the hair.
He's got the hair.
Marcus.
He's got the
tattoos.
hair. Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 19.
Yeah.
19.
Man, he's old.
6 and a 6-year-old in a 19-year-old's body. Right? You met him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I have to say,
Mentally 6, is that what you're saying?
Oh no, he's like, I mean that as the biggest compliment ever, because he's fun to be around. But that dude and his guitar though. But yeah, he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't turn off when he gets off the stage. It stays on 100% of the time, and it's entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah.
one of the things that I love about Riley is Sizzle Fingers.
Yeah.
Is he is so freaking fast.
He's ridiculously fast, and he hasn't played guitar that long. Because I've been going to school with him since third grade, second to third grade. All right, but anyway, I've been in guitar, into the guitar as long as he's known me, since second or third grade. But he didn't pick up the guitar until about 7th grade, and by the end of 7th grade, he was playing solos real fast, and then a year later, he's better than most people.
I hate people.
And I was like,
Talented.
well, this guy is going to be in my band, and I was already friends with him, and we already got along, and I'm the one that got him in the music, so it ended up working out.
That's sort of how Riley is. Like when he used to play basketball, I guess, in 3rd grade and stuff, and he used to be really good. Like everyone would challenge him.
No, he wasn't good.
Well,
He elbowed.
He was pretty good.
Don't listen to this. This is propaganda for Riley. He elbowed. He hit. I don't care if he hears this.
Full contact basketball.
Oh, he played full contact, prison rules, and he'll say that. He'll knock you over. Prison rules.
But so don't go shoot hoops with Riley.
Is that where he got his tats? Is that?
But Riley actually, he did play. He started up playing the drums.
Yeah.
And he actually got really pretty good at the drums, and like a lesson.
I forgot. He was good at the drum. Yeah.
And then he switched to guitar. Less than a year, he's already like playing like already master
So
solos.
Stephen, Mike, Riley, and who was the other?
Ryan. She's our vocalist.
She.
She.
Heavy metal, female and heavy metal, not that common.
No.
Or is it getting more common?
I think it's more accepted, not necessarily more common, but I think with it being more accepted, you're seeing it,
it's
flourish.
a fairly male-dominated genre.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure. And
what would you place her vocal styles in like comparable to what?
You'll need to Google again.
Hey. Right,
strictly for him shots.
I would say like she sort of sounds like Arch Enemy.
Yeah, Arch Enemy. Arch Enemy is a female singer. Does the same type of thing.
She sort of like sounds like some of like the black metal guys, like Behemoth and stuff, a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The thing that impressed me is she's just she's a tiny package.
Yeah.
And she's got this voice that will blow everyone away.
Wow.
And I think in a lot of ways, she adding her to the band, after your previous singer left, I think it made you guys heavier. Would you
Really?
think so?
Yeah, because she has a real when she sings, yeah, whatever. When she, I don't know. They like to call it singing
when she
or not.
expresses her art form.
When
She's a vocalist. She makes vocal sounds.
So when she's singing, it's singing. The thing, it's augment. You augment your voice. It's singing. But when she sings, she's very guttural and she's very emotional when she sings, and you can really feel the vibe of the song. Nice. And in metal, like you always hear like, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But you always know what she's saying because you can see it. and you can hear it in her voice, and even if you don't know what the words are, you feel in the emotion.
Yeah. So getting that other sense, that visual sense, really plays a part in your guys' show.
And in heavy metal, heavy is in many ways referring to the emotional impact of the song.
Yeah.
And she really brings that to the table.
Nice.
Yeah, she with like the lyrics, like even though she's doing like the low death growls, you can sort of understand her more. Like people are like starting to like know the lyrics more.
Yeah.
And like the way she like does it, it's so powerful. Like the way she like phrases the words that like you can just like he said, like you just feel it, like the impact of each lyric. Even if it's like a low death growl, you can still feel like her emotion coming out.
We were talking in the green room about what a cool community the metal community is.
Yeah.
You got these guys with the hair and the tattoos and the beards, and they're some of the most loving people I've ever met.
Yeah, and for sure, because playing in the metal scene at a young age, we're 15, 16, there's a lot of local bands. I'm going to shout out a couple, but like there's a band called Scatterguts, a band called Saint Breaker. And think about those guys, when you're 14, 15, you hear their music, you buy their CDs, you're listening to them just as much as you're listening to Slayer or Metallica. Yeah. So in many ways, they become an influence. And it's very cool to be able to talk to an influence.
Yeah.
And it's very cool to, it's cool to be in that scene and idolize your scene,
and being able to appreciate the local artists instead of, because a lot of music genres you're not really recognized until you reach a certain plateau, whether that be record sales, airplay, videos, or whatever, downloads, touring. And I've seen this with my very limited exposure to the metal scene. The Bay Area had a fairly vibrant scene. Mystic Rage was a band that I used to shoot a lot. They play Vegas a lot, and they play in Reno. I was surprised they were still together, but because we're talking 30 some years ago, 25 years ago. But the metal genre, because a lot of times, because they're not as mainstream, they're playing smaller clubs, so they have, like we talked about earlier, that very loyal and dedicated following. So the groups that aren't making the big commercial impact seem to be appreciated and recognized even more so that fan base is built quicker, and they're really dedicated. When they find somebody they like, they latch on, and they are dedicated.
And metal fans, there's no, with every other type of music, you got casual listeners. Metal becomes a lifestyle, more so than any other genre. Because a lot of people listen to country or they listen to pop, whatever.
Passive.
Yeah, it's on the radio while they drive to work. But metalheads, they listen to it, and it they take on the whole persona. and I think so. You always got that thing where they're really attached. Because even I think the way a metalhead listens to music, whether it's not even metal, whether it's like Steven with Earth, Wind, and Fire and stuff, they listen to it with like a certain passion that a lot of other fans don't do, because there is no casual metal.
Dive in head first.
Yeah. And so I think that's where, and it's a large number, but it's still the minority of people. Yeah. But I think because they know each other.
Now you guys have become fairly well known, not only national but international, because places like Germany, and someday you guys will be playing there. They just have this huge metal scene, and you guys, I know, have played the Whiskey a Go-Go. You played the 3-day Texas Metal Fest this year. I forget what that one's called.
Yeah, the Memorial Day Fest.
Yeah, does Donington still go on? Because you guys could kill it there.
Donington? I'm not sure. I think they might have changed names, or they're not around anymore. I'm not sure.
There's a guy I done some work with, JT Habersat. He's a comic, but he does the Altercation Comedy Festival. It's a mix. It's in Austin, and it's a mix between it's comedy based.
Yeah. But
he also mixes in a lot of metal and punk musicians in the whole fest.
Oh, very cool.
And he's through Phoenix quite a bit too. He's got some association here in town, but he was a metal and punk writer before he got into comedy. And I'm trying to think of the record label that he's with. I can't remember. But Texas has a very active and big metal scene.
Oh, yeah. I think it's...
which the casual outsider would not associate Texas with metal, but
yeah. The more you hear from musicians that tour around, the farther east you go, the more musical they get in all their genres. And I think in Texas, especially since you got ZZ Top coming from there, and you
Willie.
And you got Pantera in the metal. They have all these. They're very musical in Texas, and we learned that playing there. And there's a lot of cool people in Texas, and they all love music. And metal's one of the things that they love when it comes to their music.
So the folks in Prescott are going to get a chance to check you out on August 4th.
They have played Prescott a couple times.
Oh, you have already?
Yeah. I don't think the venue's there anymore. It's called the Shop.
Yeah,
you were there, right?
Prescott Valley a few times.
Yeah.
But we're going to get a chance to see you on August 4th
at the concert against teen bullying and suicide put on by Music United.
Why you guys associated with this? What brings you this time to Prescott?
Well, let's see. There's a lot of things. It's always cool to get out of our area. But as far as the show and what the show is bringing awareness to, and it's something that everyone in the AZ scene and in the U.S. music scene, everyone, you learn that suicide, especially teen suicide, so it's a real thing. And I think, and when you're younger, you hear about it, you know what it is, but everyone's been affected by it. Everyone's known someone, everyone's heard, and when it's people it becomes a very real thing. And this show especially, it's bringing awareness, but it's also like a memorial type thing.
Yes.
Because they all love to play music, a lot of these people that we've known and stuff. And it becomes a real thing. So it's something that happens, and it's something that, collectively as a society needs to be, awareness needs to be brought to everyone.
Shine a light.
This is a very small part of a big conscious
thing
going on. So it's like it needs to, light needs to be shined on this event, and there needs to be more things like this. Nice. So we just want to get on it.
And to bring awareness to it, and Dave and I were talking, it could have been on mic, it could have been off, I don't remember, but about the mental disposition, the aspect of in our generation, old guys, emotional issues, and in turn mental conditions and issues were you repress them, push them down. That's a weakness, and that's what leads up to people feeling they have no way out.
And that's also, I think, why a lot of people are surprised when particularly a teen dies by suicide, and the parents might not be aware. In some cases, they've been trying to get help and stuff, but every once in a while you are just shocked by something like Tyler Hedstrom, a local young musician. I think you were friends with him, if I'm not mistaken.
Me and him were pretty good friends. Like, we would stay in contact and stuff. And like, when I found out that he committed suicide, like, I was shocked, because like, you wouldn't realize that he was struggling. And
the more that events like this one, Dave, that you're putting on August 4th can let people who may be struggling or know somebody who's struggling know, you know what, it's something to go through, it's something you have to deal with, but get help. Don't carry that burden by yourself. Seek out what can help you, because like I said, in our generation, we were taught, to not to
repress
those emotions. But we all go through things, and when it gets to that point, let's not let it get to that point.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Everybody's battling with something. Obviously, there are others. There are people who battle things much deeper than the majority of us. But to seek out some help, let people know through events like this, you're not alone. Here's some programs, some organizations, some people who can help you.
And let the community know that it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And in a place, I'm hoping to take smaller versions of what we're doing to other communities around the state. I'm hoping to do a big one in Phoenix maybe next year. But when someone like Ardera, does this in a small community.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to close off part of the highway to get the cars in for her memorial.
Yeah.
I mean, in small towns, it affects everyone. And sometimes, even down here, but in smaller communities, it sometimes becomes an epidemic.
Yeah.
One person will do it. And when these people reach out for help, people will say, oh, no, you're just seeking attention, blah, blah, blah. And so I've done a lot of talking with Teen Lifeline, and I've personally done a lot of social work with kids and families, kids of all ages. And if you can't talk to your parents, you need to find a trusted adult and talk to them, someone that will take you seriously. It may or may not be a family member, but it's got to be someone you trust and know that can...
Yeah.
that you can talk with, and they can go, oh, crap, we need to get this person some help. Are you open to some help?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone there are a few that really want to take their life, but I don't know. It's hard for me to realize that a young person, a beautiful young soul, can get to that point where they're going to take a permanent solution to what could be a temporary issue. It could be a severe mental illness they deal with all their life too.
Yeah.
But get some help.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
And to, again, bring awareness to the problem and ultimately, hopefully, a solution by inviting and putting out an event like this one that you're doing, Dave, that is covering a lot of different genres. So we're going to get a lot of different people with different tastes in music, different tastes in lifestyle, different goals and ambitions coming in to see guys like you. Again, let's wrap it up with who you are, what the band is, and where folks can find out information about you.
All right, go first, Steven.
We're Iron Kill, and I'm Steven.
All right, see, I got my cheat card here. All right, Michael, and
He needed a business card to know his name. This is all right.
What? Hey. Where am I at? Oh, I found it. Okay, sorry.
Michael. We got to the Michael part.
I'm Michael. All right. You can find us at www.ironkillband.com. I think that's current. I hope so. And then you can find us on Instagram with @IronKillOfficialBand and Facebook IronKillOfficialBand as well.
Nice.
There
All right,
you
guys.
go.
Hey, thanks for taking time to sit
Hey,
with
thanks
us.
for having us.
Plug again. Who's the rest of the band?
Oh, we got Riley Micus on lead guitar and Ryan Spalding on lead vocal. I knew her last name. I was just trying to build up.
You used her real last name.
And he did that without a business card.
I did it without a business.
That-
But his name he needed.
He needed
Why rehearse theirs?
Iron Kill. Thanks a lot for sitting with
thanks
us.
for having
Thank
us. For having us.
Look forward to having you up there August 4th and in future dates. And we'll look
Thanks for
for
doing this, guys.
we'll
Oh,
look
yeah,
for
no
you guys
problem.
around.
It's
Thanks,
fun.
guys.
Yeah, all this stuff's fun.
Appreciate it. First off, tell me who you are and where folks can find out about you. Website, social media, anything you got to plug.
All right. Well, my name's Ciara Cisneros, Ciara Cisneros. Sometimes it's a little
And
hard.
unlike those metalheads, she didn't need a
She didn't have to
notebook.
pull out her business card to figure out who she was.
Well, you can find me on Facebook under just my name, Instagram over under Ciara Cisneros Official, and those are really my two main ones. And then
Yeah.
I have a couple. I have a single out. The one I'm gonna play. It's called Up. You can find it under Ciara Cisneros on Spotify, Apple Music.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And where you from down here in the valley? Where's home for you?
Queen Creek.
Not your address. We don't want to.
No, don't worry.
Queen Creek. Now I get
Yes.
these mixed up. Queen Creek is like Chandler
Yes,
area,
very
and then
much.
Cave Creek is the. I get
North.
the creeks mixed up. Okay, so you're Queen Creek down that way. Born and raised there.
Yeah, but just about. Yeah.
Spend most of your life there.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of your life, if you don't mind me asking, is how long?
How
old are you?
now. I have to think about it. 19. I'm 19.
I am amazed, thoroughly amazed, and impressed, David, by the musicians that we've talked to tonight that are all right around. I think the youngest was 15, Leah, our bass player,
Oh, wow.
and up to 19, and one I think was 20 years old. So much talent in so many short years. How long have you been playing guitar?
I think I've been playing for about 5 years now, 5-ish.
Was that your first instrument you picked up? Or?
Well, really, I've been singing ever since I was little. Yeah.
So that instrument, your voice.
Yes. My mom and dad always tell me stories of how my grandpa would hum the Barney tune, and I would just baby, and I would hum it right back to him. So
interesting. You get a lot of family down here?
Yes, pretty much all my family.
How big of a family?
Quite a big family.
Give me a take. Now, and again, if we get in any areas that you are not willing, able, or comfortable talking about, just tell me and we'll go off. But Hispanic background?
Yes.
Okay, myself
much.
as well. Yeah. I am my mom, Mexican from northern Mexico, and she was born in El Centro, right over the border, in the mountains outside of San Diego. Mm-hmm. Hispanic, my dad Portuguese.
Oh, cool.
Both very large families.
Yes.
The last count, I think, most of them still in the Bay Area, of about 140 some odd cousins.
Wow.
My mom was in the middle of 10 or 11 kids. My dad, same, of 13.
Wow.
My mom had 6. I'm the youngest of 6, and she wanted 10. Wow. It did not happen. I like to say she stopped when the perfect child was born, but that is not the case. The doctors told her, just stop. You've had enough. How many in your family? Immediate brothers, sisters?
No, I am an only child.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Are you? Then you
spoiled.
That must, no, yeah. I have an only child as well.
Yeah.
And he's not spoiled because we're broke. He broke financially and emotionally. He doesn't get any attention whatsoever. I like to joke he's the most photographed kid in Yavapai County, I think.
That and my older daughter.
One child in your family.
Yes.
A lot of cousins and aunts and uncles.
Oh,
local.
Yeah. Real close. Yeah. We have Saturday, Sunday, every day family dinner. So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Grandpa was the one that was humming, you said?
My grandpa, yes.
A lot of music in your family? Or?
Actually, they're the only one that... Well, one of my cousins sings, and then the one I really got it from was my Nana. She started, she taught me a little bit on guitar, and then she always kind of helps me with singing. Ciara, get your hands out of your pockets, because I also used to sing there, all scared and stiff. But she's the one I really got that from. And then my grandma is very creative as well.
Very nice.
Pretty creative, yeah.
So you start singing at... As long as you can remember, singing was just part of your
for sure
all day, everyday life. What motivated you to pick up the guitar, Grandma?
Well, yeah, but really where it started, I was playing basketball. I played for about 7 years.
Oh wow!
And then one time I sprained my ankle. Was not fun, but I recovered. Then I sprained it the very next time I went back to pick up the ball, and then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So my parents put me into voice lessons, and I really liked it. And then for probably another birthday or something, I went into guitar lessons.
Nice. And, so the voice lessons to kind of fine tune what you'd already been doing, but a little more formalized.
Mm-hmm.
What kind? Now you were playing just real quick for us as we were doing a sound check.
Yeah.
What was that song you were playing?
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yeah. Has one of the, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably one of the staples of cover songs for singers and songwriters.
Pretty much. It's not Margaritaville or Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
But one of the ones you did beautifully.
Thanks.
Were playing that beautifully. I love to hear other people's interpretations of songs, especially very familiar songs, and how they tweak them and make them their own. Mm-hmm. Do you do a lot of covers? Do you try and do mostly originals? Do you mix it up?
I mix it up. Yeah. As much as I would love to do mostly originals, I find that the crowd really likes the well-known covers.
And the crowd being, where do you play? Where do folks? Do you have like a home stage, a home venue that you frequent, or do you go wherever somebody will set up a mic?
Honestly, it's wherever. It's been really like slow lately, just because I've been at ASU, so it's been crazy over there. I haven't been able to be as out as I would like to, but I'd probably say my home is Sozo's Coffee House, just because I always do the open mics there. I don't necessarily have a lot of shows. I'll have a show once in a while, but that's kind of what feels like home for me. Yeah.
How would you classify or categorize your style, your music?
I don't know. I don't know. As David knows, I have, it's really just acoustic singer-songwriter is about as broad as I could get, because I have one song that's kind of like has a Spanish influence, and the one I'm going to play is very acoustic and kind of poppy. I have some rock elements, so just alternative maybe. I don't know.
Out of the ones that you do as covers, is there any one that has been... I'm sorry, Ciara, right?
Yes.
Has been Ciara-ized. Is that a word? And I'm bringing this back because, Wes Williams. Wes has been a frequent guest on this show, and he's definitely got his style. He's got his influences, but every once in a while he will take a song that is so far out of his genre and he Wesifies it.
It's his.
I like to say. Danny Romero.
Danny's awesome.
Danny is a incredibly gifted singer and songwriter.
Country genre,
rockabilly, and when he takes some of his old L.A. influences, he used to split time between Bullhead City with his mom and L.A. with his dad. So he would hear the old cowboy music in Bullhead, and then skater punk, early '80s stuff that was influencing him when he was spending summers in L.A.
Yeah,
and when he throws his country twang and fiddle player with Jordan Brambilla playing fiddle to a Social Distortion song.
Oh, wow.
At
he
the Palace.
Loves Michael Ness.
Yeah, it's so he really danifies his music. Is there anything that you cover that would surprise people when they hear you play your originals and then you throw a cover in? Is there something that's so out of the box?
Well, I really do try, and with every cover I play, try to make it a little different, make it mine. But I would say the ones that I'm most known for are, I do "Kiss" by Prince. Acoustify it.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So people tend to really like that one. One time I did "Thriller" by Michael Jackson over at Proof is in the Pudding. People really liked that one too. So, I'm just kind of all over the spectrum with kind of
some of that R&B and funk on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about how you, when you're performing, when you're expressing your art form and playing in front of an audience, sometimes you do have you and I mean this as a comment when you play to the audience.
Yes.
Not pandering to them, but they want to hear some of the familiar tunes. When especially in the singer-songwriter acoustic genre, and we see a lot of that with Leslie Earl Lyman, friend of the show, beautiful songwriter and beautiful guitar player, and he looks like he would be playing with a metal
in Iron Kill.
Yeah, in Iron. Long hair down the middle of his back, big gray beard, just a mountain man. I went the first time I picked him up at his house. I was recording the intro to the podcast, going to his house, saying that I was looking for the cave that he crawled out of, and was slightly amused that it was a standard house in the suburbs. Yeah. But he will do the same. He'll play a cover and really make it his own. So when people are listening to you playing your originals or the things more in your genre, and then hey, wait, I know that song. Yeah. That's Thriller, or that's Kiss. The spark, it really grabs them in, and kind of, especially when you're playing like coffee shops or smaller open mic venue things. people are kind of listening and they're talking and they're enjoying their beverage or whatever, and then whoa, they're drawn into what you're playing, and when you're able to grab the audience like that, what a thrill that is to be able to feel that from the mic and from the stage.
Oh yeah.
Now, you as a singer, picking up the guitar early, always singing in your house with your family, your grandfather, your parents. What was the first time you sang in public to a non-family audience?
Well, I was really little. The first time that I can remember, it was at a church fiesta, and I sang an old song called 16 Tons.
Yeah?
I learned it. I was so little. I was probably, I don't even know. I was still like maybe 5 or 6. I got up there with my little, it was like a kind of like a raggedy kind of like bluesy kind of song, So I got up there with my little cap and my torn glove, and I got up there and sang 16 Tons. Yeah.
Who did that originally, David?
Was it Tennessee?
I want to say, I think it was. Yeah. How did it go?
It is before my time.
Yeah, there's nothing before your time.
I'm pretty sure my nana was beaming because, it was just it was one of those songs where my nana used to babysit me. We would sit there and sing it in the car, or sing it wherever. Yeah. So it was a kind of a special song. So it was
very
fun.
Nice.
Give us a quick verse of 16 Tons.
16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And you have Ciara eyes. That was gorgeous. What, talk a little bit more as you grew up and got a little older and played. Since you had been singing in front of people, and at 5 at the church, are there any nerves there? Do you still feel that, or did you ever?
Well, oh yeah. Especially, when I was little, I'd get up anywhere and I would go sing. Yeah. I would sing at family churches or, but then once I started getting older, 7th and 8th grade, where I really started taking
middle school
things. Yeah.
It's always middle school.
Yeah, we started kind of taking things seriously and realized, oh my gosh, people are watching me put my soul on the line, That's when the nerves kind of started. And then from there, I was able to push through, and now sometimes I get nervous, sometimes I don't. I'm in tune with like the feel of the venue. If it's really like Sozo's are really such a warm place to be.
You've mentioned them before. You said it's kind of
it's a very cool spot.
It is.
Give a little plug. Where are they located? And
they are located in Chandler. I'm not quite sure.
I'll put a link.
Sozo's Coffee House. Yep, they have the best open mic.
It's almost school and something.
Yeah.
It's way south.
Okay.
From Prescott.
Everything is.
Yeah, but they just have such a warm atmosphere that to players that are new and to players that are older, they're always welcome there. So
very nice.
Yeah.
The arts and performing scene in Phoenix and the Valley. To me, everything down here is Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yep. I was so blown away by what's down here when I first moved here.
Yeah, for sure.
Many years ago, or to Arizona anyway. From the music scene, the comedy scene, the art scene. When I came down, and the first time I had been through the neighborhood was maybe 4 years ago for a comedy show, and I met the guy at I'm probably getting it wrong, Alvarado Market. Do you know that? The Third Space was down there, and Space 55. It's this whole art community area off of downtown,
Roosevelt Row somewhere.
Yeah. And
that's a big art scene.
I kind of wandered around looking at some of the little funky shops. The Lawn Gnome Bookstore, I think they've closed now, but they were open, and they had some poetry open mics and some music open mics, some storyteller stuff. There's another place that I'm butchering it, Allen House or something. Neat little spot.
Alwyn House.
Yeah.
I think.
there's just so, and it's
that's in Tempe.
But there's just so much going on that unless you search it out, you don't know about it,
Right.
and you can almost stumble into these little places.
Oh,
going,
yeah.
What's going on here? Oh, it's a show. And just such neat stuff going on. As a performer, to have so many outlets and so many places where you can display your art and perform is neat. Well, do you get up to the Prescott area much? You're going to be up there for the August 4th show that's entitled Dave?
Music.
Me again. It's a concert against teen bullying and suicide, and it's put on by Music United.
Do you get up to the Prescott area to play much?
Not as much as I would like to.
And why not was my follow-up question.
Why not? Because, right now, ASU
She lives in Queen Creek.
and Queen Creek. Yeah, so maybe once school starts to kind of lighten up, once I get out of there, then I'd probably maybe do some
nice.
stuff
I
up
will
there
put
everywhere.
this out there right now, where I think it would be an excellent fit for you. And I don't know what your Friday schedules are like, but we haven't done any plugs. I haven't done any commercials in these interviews that we're doing, so we're going to do it right now.
For any venues, anyway.
The sponsor for the main sponsor for our podcast, the Mile High Show, Big Daddy E's Barbecue.
It's in Chino Valley.
BDEBBQ.com. That
Excellent
does
tri-tip.
Excellent. And now, excellent everything. But they, on Friday evenings from spring through mid-fall, there's no real set thing, but every Friday from 5 to 7, they have the tiny but mighty stage out in the patio that is geared perfect for singer-songwriters, solo acts, but although we have had some bands out there, Sky brought the three-piece 99 Years band out there.
Oh, that's fun.
But it's a great little spot for singer-songwriters. Eric Vanier, the owner at Big Daddy E's, wanted a few years ago, because he's a music fan, wanted to have a spot where people can play. And Sky plays out there. Leslie Earl Lyman plays out there. Chuck Hall plays out there. P.K. Gregory. A lot of the musicians from up in the Prescott and Verde area, and you would be a dynamite fit. Just from the little bit I've heard, you would be a beautiful fit out there.
Oh,
so maybe we can get you in Chino Valley, right outside of Prescott. And of course, the Whiskey Row and surrounding area, the Courthouse Square music scene, almost 7 nights a week has music at different venues. The Raven Cafe, I could see
She'd
her
be perfect
sitting in
at
that
the Raven.
corner at the Raven.
I think I've reached out to the Raven before. Have not heard back. But
They will hear this show.
They will. And I hate to do it this way because I can never remember. What did I call it? I don't remember. Annie's... No, I call it Coyote. Far from Coyote, Annie's Attic, Folsom. This place.
Now the Rickety Cricket.
I had
It
about
took me forever
a 9-word title for the venue because it's changed hands so many times.
A lot.
But
Bones, Brick and Bones too.
It was Coyote Joe's, Annie's Attic, Brick and Bones, Far from Folsom, Rickety Crickets. It's been something else in there. Whatever it's called, it's a beautiful venue. They've got an outdoor patio for the larger shows, and that upstairs room is dynamite for singer-songwriters.
It really is, particularly in the winter because it's cold outside.
Yes, there's so many spots, Granite Mountain Brewery, all these places where I've recorded in because they are all such great supporters of local musicians, artists, performers. And the thing that caught my eye when I first moved to Arizona 14, 15 years ago is I stumbled into an open mic. I want to say it was a Birdcage, but I'm not sure.
It was probably Sky.
No, it was... I can't remember the musicians that were there, but I'm walking in and listening to these people playing at an open mic, and I've seen the same thing down here in the Valley, where in other parts of the country, these are ticketed shows. And the level of talent that is floating in and out of these small venues where you can literally sit this close as we are, I'm gesturing on an audio-only podcast, 5 feet away from somebody who is playing at such a level that anywhere else in the country is, like I say, a ticketed show, and you can walk in and see these folks. So that's one of the reasons I started this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I
4
think
years ago was to support the local performers and get the word out. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I think people tend to forget that every big band out there that you're fans of was probably a local band somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I know you cover Hotel California.
Yeah.
I mean, Don Felder and those guys here. Glenn Fry, Phoenix. Linda Ronstadt, Phoenix, playing clubs.
Yeah.
Tucson. Big family as well.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people, and so does Matt, to get out and see these local bands. And in Prescott, we have a lot of retired musicians. We have a lot of famous talent up there.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to like hang and live. And people like Drew Hall, got to plug Drew. He's playing all over right now, the NAM and
who's do you have any family up there? Up in the Prescott
yes,
area?
you do.
I do. I have
your
an
aunt bought tickets.
An aunt and uncle, yes. Aunt Janet and Uncle Chris up there.
Who's Cisneros, the blues guy?
Oh, Freddie.
Freddie Cisneros. Any
Not
relation?
related to Freddie.
No.
He has played. One, he's a dynamite musician, and he has played with every big name blues act for the last 5 decades.
Yeah, he's
at
a
least.
great player.
Incredible. And the first time I ever saw him play was at it used to be Donna's Hut. What's it called now?
I'm not sure, but it does
You know
change.
what I'm talking about.
They
Yeah.
do an open mic and a blues jam, or at least they used
the
to.
Blues Jam is now at Windsock. Anyway,
They moved
I
it to
walk in,
Windsock. Okay.
There's 15 people there, and that was standing room only. It's that size of a place.
Wow.
And Cisneros was Jimmy. Was it
Freddie.
Freddie, see, I know a Jimmy Cisneros up in Chino, Paulden. But Freddie was blowing the doors off of this. I'm going, where did he come from? They go, no, he's been everywhere. He just happened to retire here, like you said.
Yeah, I think I first saw Freddie at Acker Music Night.
In
December.
Acker, that's where you need to be involved with Acker. That's
That would
big
be
musical,
awesome.
It's a musical festival, but it all takes place in one night.
It's a very mini Mesa Music Fest.
Oh, fun.
You walk into every little that Prescott Courthouse Square Whiskey Row area is little clothing boutiques, coffee shops, art galleries, and then some larger restaurants and things in the brew pub and bars.
Even the Elks.
Every single storefront has an act going on, so people just. And it's in December.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's wintry. Hot chocolate
fun,
and snow.
yeah.
And they
I've
just
been snowed on and
wander
rained on.
around and hit all the little. And there's music filling the entire square. And it's such a
how
beautiful,
fun.
beautiful night.
Sounds like a fun.
And it's
And I've seen you in a Santa hat before.
yes, I've been in Santa hats.
so why did you choose to be involved with this August 4th event that David Cottle is putting on?
Well, I was thinking about that on the way in the car. And, it's just such a great cause. I feel like just lately there's been a lot of, suicides within the music community, unfortunately. Yeah. Even, but beyond local, even with the main stars,
Yes.
And I think it was great to bring awareness to that and just kind of tell everybody that, we're all here for you. We're all here for each other.
And you're not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. Exactly.
Some of us feel that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think it's a really important cause.
To do something good for the community in general, but just for the human race in general.
Yeah.
How important is that for you as an artist to? I mean, it's kind of a hack thing to say, we're giving back to the community, to give something back. But how important is that for you as an artist to not just be heard, to be seen, but to have a message behind what people are seeing?
Oh, it's really what drives my music. With every song that I have, I try to have either a positive element or just, something that people can really relate to, so that, so just in that moment, people who are listening to my songs can feel like they're not alone, and I always tell my parents, if I ever make it big, I want to make it big because I want my music to be out there and for people to be really connecting with it, and just to have some real stuff out there, because I feel like some of the music that gets big is about, drugs and, that kind of just like bad stuff. I want to bring positive messages out there to everybody.
What are you studying in college?
I'm studying graphic design.
Graphic design?
Yeah. And you were just accepted into the ASU school, one of, 60 people?
It was about, I think it started off with like 100 some odd. And then it went down after a couple of weeks. And it was about, it was about 90 people. I was about one of 45.
Artist in not just the musical field, but the visual field as well.
Yes.
Do you hope to pair those?
Oh, yeah.
As you go?
Oh, yeah.
In what ways? How do you see that working?
Well, there's always the whole album art and logos.
So
and
right
all
off
that
the bat,
stuff,
you're saving a lot of money because you don't have to pay somebody else to create your album art.
Yeah. But I think the main reason that I got into the graphic design, I love art, and that was always a big struggle for me, is figuring out whether to go after my passion of music or going after my passion of art. And overall, I just kind of decided that with art, doing what I'm doing with graphic design, I'm able to keep the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because graphic design, I feel like you can very much work on your own schedule, so then I'll have time to be doing gigs out there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is when you rely solely on music, I feel like sometimes it can start to turn into more of a job than something really fun, So
I find that with photography.
Yeah.
And I go through periods, and it's kind of cyclical. It's about every 8 to 10 years. I've been doing this a long time.
Longer than me, because you're older.
I'm older.
Mentally.
Moses was at your last high school reunion, David.
I was there when they made the wheel.
I go through these cycles where about every 8 or 10 years, I cannot pick up a camera. I can't touch it. And then that lasts sometimes a few months. One time it lasted a few years.
Wow.
And then I have to pick it up.
Yeah.
That's just how it happens, because it gets to the point where my photography, and that's how I've supported myself for nearly 40 years. That's how, it is a job, but it's also a passion.
Right.
But it gets to the point where it's just the job.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like that. My wife can tell when it's coming close.
And your creativity goes, boom, it just plummets.
Yeah. And then it's like, I'm doing it because I have to, and not because I want to. Now, as technology changes, and there was a time when, in order to do recording of music, you needed to be in an area that required a lot of technology, a lot of dollars, a lot of this, a lot of that. Now it's to the point where you can capture the music fairly inexpensively. Same thing with graphic design and multimedia art. There's ways you can do that on a laptop or a tablet. That used to require a full studio worth of stuff.
Right.
So there's lots of opportunities for you to mix the both. And do your visual art with your music behind it, or the other way around.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, I've even, on my Instagram page, I've been trying, for whatever reason, with my new single, I've been trying to even get into animation. I did some just, really simple animations, so maybe in the future I'll incorporate more of that art into my songs to make it very visually melodic as well as.
So where do you see let's pull out your crystal ball. Where do you see your music 10 years from now? Where would you like to see?
Where would I like to see my music? Inspiring the souls of as many people as I can.
You talked about you talking with your parents when if you make it big. I will say when you make it big. Have you already been working on that acceptance speech for MA or Grammys?
Best new artist.
Have you stood in front of the mirror at home with the hairbrush in your hand? giving your speech.
Maybe I've done it in my head, but Well, my dad always told me, if you can't visualize yourself somewhere, then how are you supposed to get there?
So in that mental speech, who do you thank?
My family. First and foremost, my parents, my nana, my grandma, my grandpa, my papa, my aunts, my uncles, just all of them. And then I thank just all the teachers I've had that have helped me grow along the way, and as well as all the, musical people that I've met that have just inspired me.
Is that them out there that we're hearing?
That my parents? Yeah, that's my parents right there.
Is it just them or someone sticking around?
Mention who are they?
My parents?
Let's out them.
Let's out
by
them.
name.
We
Who
have
are they?
Gail Cisneros and Robert Cisneros.
And they're very important as a driving force behind your creativity. Well, that's beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, without them, I don't know.
Well, let's hear some more of what folks will be hearing on August 4th at the show.
At the concert against teen bullying and suicide.
Plug it as much as we can.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
August 4th at the Boys and Girls Club in Prescott.
And
Prescott for us locals.
And folks can find out about you where?
Instagram, Facebook, Ciara Cisneros official Instagram, just Ciara Cisneros Facebook, and
Do you have a website?
I don't. I need to work on that.
So Facebook.
You're a graphic designer.
I know.
You know what? You know what I use my website for? To point people to my social media.
Exactly. That's where it's at these days.
So let's tell me what you're going to play.
This one's called Up. Is out on Spotify, not Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all your streams. It's even on YouTube. It's about, I've been talking a lot about my family, and it's about just my family and all the people I've come across and how much I love them, and it's about them. It's for them. So this one's called Up. I know rainbows and butterflies aren't your style, but in them I can't help but see a smile. Whoa, these sunny days got me going crazy, 'cause you, oh my dear, are kind of amazing. When I'm feeling blue, you bring your paintbrush. You paint me all the colors of your love, 'cause you turn me into something I like much more. 'Cause you, oh my dear, are an artist, I'm sure. Ties me down, you lift me up. When life's tides knock me to the ground, you lift me up. Oh, you lift me up. Solo armies remind me of your embrace, and in the tree of life, you're the rules to my base, and we grow. You fill my lungs with air. And together we'll fly. Together we'll